Stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. John.
Here.
Scott, absent. Mark is absent. Stephanie is present via Zoom. We can get approval of the agenda.
I'll approve the agenda as presented.
Motion by John to approve the agenda as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Stephanie. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We want to look over the August 5th meeting minutes.
The one thing that changed from what I sent last night was the bills were not updated from the previous meeting. So those have been updated now.
I'll move to accept the minutes as presented and waive the reading.
Motion by John to accept the August 5th meeting minutes as presented and dispense with the reading. Is there a second?
Yeah, she gave the hand gesture.
Oh, okay, we got the thing.
Sorry.
Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor? Nope. John.
Aye.
Stephanie.
Aye.
Dale votes aye. Motion carries. Approval of the bills.
In the bills, you will see one for the, what page is that on?
Page 4, Eastern Plains HS zone.
That one, yep. So that is our portion of the indirect cost to social services. You guys have that budgeted for in the budget. This will be for printers, IT, paper, things like that. So then that's, none of their books roll through us anymore. So then we just send this to Nelson County for our portion of their cost. So then that's that one. On page 5.
Do we have their actual costs?
Yeah, we don't use an itemized cost.
Or
I didn't get anything.
So I think we need to have that.
I think she
we'll pay
just-
as we go, because we pay a portion of that, and it's
Mm-hmm.
up to that cost. No budgets are inclusive of all the, the total budget. So if
Yep.
they don't spend it, we shouldn't be paying it.
Okay.
no, that's. Because
Yeah.
I think it included miscellaneous. Well,
Yeah, it was a $500,000 support indirect zone funds for the calendar year 2021.
Right, but it was in support of bills it listed bills that had to be paid, correct? So if they didn't pay anything, we shouldn't have to pay anything.
Right. Okay, I'll ask her for further
I mean, we can pay it as we go. I mean, it can be, as they spend the money, I think we should then allocate our portion of it.
Yeah, up to a $500,000.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
I
if they,
believe so. What do you think, Steph?
I don't have much of a, how much do we want to, that's just more work for us. Either you give them the money or and say, here's our half of it for the $500,000 and
But what happens
Yeah,
if they
then-
don't spend, what happens if they don't spend all the money? So then we end up contributing more than Nelson County.
does Nelson County also just give their half and they get half and that's how they work it?
The bills run through Nelson County's board up there, so then that's all of the books and all of the payroll and everything gets ran through Nelson County, so then this is just our portion. So I'm not really sure how they do it up there. But I think it'd be
So
done
what
like it used to be done, like where we would get their bills and, go through that way, but I'm not really sure.
So we want them to start sending us like monthly what their bills were, so we pay them back half of what they sent out in bills?
It's, well, it wouldn't even quite be half. It's based on population or on value of the county. So I think our share is 46%.
yeah, it's close to half.
And they pay 54%. So yes, in theory, and that's the way it was done before. We just switched it over here. So that way we have an accounting of what the Griggs County tax dollars are being used for. In case,
So you're just gonna ask her to say, hey, submit us what you guys paid out in expenses in the past month, or I even ask her to do it monthly for us, or?
it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter how often it's done. It could be done quarterly, it could be done yearly. But we just want to make certain that the money that we allocated, because it's not a lump sum, it's up to $500,000. It's not a lump sum.
Right.
Right. So if it's less than $500,000, then the Griggs County residents should get that savings. But the only way we'll know that for sure
Is if we get a bill.
If we get a bill and see what they use the money for.
Right. Okay. Yeah, maybe just ask Mary to submit, the past, have we paid anything towards them for the year at all? I mean, it's been 6 months in.
Nope, we haven't paid anything.
It's been 8 months in, what am I talking about?
Do they,
I have Mary
is
gonna
their
give me
year
a
end
call.
different than the rest of the world, or?
I don't know now. I mean,
It's just an odd time to be built for it, midstream,
right. Why does,
or is it coincide with budget time, or?
yeah. It's
Yeah.
just,
I'll have Mary give me a call. She's just hopping off of her meeting and then she'll give me a call. So then we can get some more clarification on that one.
Okay.
On page 5, there is a North Dakota, the NDSU grant contract. So this is another payment for that project for the old courthouse. I thought the last one that I brought to you guys was the last one, and here we had missed one somewhere. So now this is the last one.
so does this, how does this bring us to what we were originally quoted?
Hold on one second, Mary.
Okay,
We're still coming in under.
okay.
Yep, because we were way under before by like $5,000, so then this will still be under, just not as good. Okay, Mary, the commission has a few questions on the, that we're just paying that $13,000 right up front for the indirect costs.
For this year, for 2021.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, did we send an invoice for that, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And that was what was approved last year for this year, correct?
Yes, that was what was budgeted for. Yep.
Okay, yep.
So would it be itemized on what we use those monies for, or are you under the impression that it's just a lump sum money and there is no accounting for what the money was used for?
Well, of course, there's accounting for what the money is used for, of course. So what's difficult, I can send something, absolutely. What's difficult is some of that money, like I talked about last year, it's hard to figure out what it was this year because some of it was prepaid ahead. So some of that is catching up with us now. But yes, like the postage, we put a bunch of money down on the postage. What else did we prepay? Our IT, some of those other things that we prepaid before are now coming forward. I can try to get something together as close as I can. Problem is with, and I know it's not your problem, it's mine, some of the issues I run into is my chart of accounts aren't set up appropriately with the auditor here. So her books and our books don't exactly jive because we set up our chart of accounts our way and she lumped a bunch of things together. I can most definitely get something together. I don't know how soon I can do that, but I will most definitely get what I can.
I guess my maybe I'm reading this wrong, but so are you saying that no matter what you put together, our share is always going to be $13,000, or is there a possibility it could be less than that?
Yep. There's so going into calendar year 2022, I am asking for a third of a mil, so roughly around $8,000, based on my anticipated expenses.
Right, but what I'm saying for this 13,000, when you give us the invoices are going to equal our share of being $13,000.
Well, again, for 2021, they're probably not going to because of the prepaid stuff and some of those other variables that I didn't have any numbers for when I was budgeting going forward.
Right.
They're based off my anticipated numbers.
Right. You see, so you see the concern in a normal budgetary cycle,
Yep.
like we did it before. Any money that wasn't actually spent, money allocated that wasn't spent, would then revert back to the county treasury to be reallocated next year. Doing it this way, essentially use it like a savings account where money that's not spent stays there and could quite possibly build up to be used for some other purpose than was intended. Unless we
I
know.
understand that. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. I don't know I don't know what that means. I'm just here to ask questions and then.
Yep. And I'm here to try to answer them the best I can.
So if you could get us an accounting of what has been spent by our next meeting would be.
And when 2 weeks? When is
Yeah,
the next
2 weeks.
September 9th, actually.
Yep, I will definitely, I will have the auditor start pulling numbers together and we'll pull numbers from our accounting here and we will get them.
And then you'll break it down with the percentage
Yep.
that we're supposed to be paying compared to Nelson County.
And what's difficult is percentage wise is we budgeted $500,000. $500,000 was budgeted. And it wasn't broken down percentage wise because a Nelson County mill was worth more than a Griggs County mill.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not a perfect system the way that things are set up, and so I don't probably have exact numbers, but I can get close.
But see, that did break it down into percentages. By budgeting half the mill, that broke it down to the percentages that we use. So
Right.
if Griggs County is worth 13,000 and the Nelson County share was probably more like 16,000. So there is a percentage of it. So if there's a $100 bill, $100 invoice that should be paid, Griggs County should pay the 46% and Nelson County the 54%.
I'm not sure that's how it works according to the new updated law. I know that's how it's written in our zone plan, which was approved.
Right.
And this is where it gets difficult because the law says one thing and this says another thing, and trying to balance it all. I understand what you're saying, and our zone plan says, what is it, 52 to 48 or something like that?
I don't have the exact figure,
I
but
don't
it,
remember.
it's based on the value of each one of the counties, which of course then if you levy the exact same mill, that will give you the breakdown in dollars. So a half a mill is worth more in Nelson County than it is here, and that's the
Yeah.
exact percentage that we're looking at.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, yep, I will, and again, some of that stuff, like the postage, we paid $800 in 2020 for 2021. So some of those numbers are gonna be a little deceiving. Like I can already tell you my postage is gonna be way off.
Yeah. I think the remedy for it is just to tell the state they can take care of all the costs for social services, and we'll be out of this.
Oh, John, you know what? It would make my life a heck of a lot easier too.
Well, then it's 2-0. Let's do it.
Right? If you and I were in charge?
Well, you mean we're not?
Well, you might be, but I don't think I am.
Well, if you're not, you know what part of the totem pole I'm on.
I will most definitely pull those numbers together, and again, keep in mind that some of those, like the postage is not going to show correctly because some of it is prepaid. So I can pull that from I can pull that from 2020 and make notes of what was paid for the postage.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
Should be it.
All right, thanks, Mary.
Thank you
I
so
don't know
much.
if you guys can talk about this right now, but the law also changed, and I did talk to Stephanie and Scott at the last board meeting. I can only, according to the new law, I can only have one commissioner on my zone board moving forward, and that takes effect January 1, 2022. So just something to have a discussion about.
Well, we'll leave it up to you, and we'll see which one you like the best.
Can I have half of each? one month it's Stephanie, the next month it's Scott.
I'm afraid you don't get out of this that easy.
I don't think it's going to be either. Okay, all right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
What did the weed do for office expenses at H.E. Everson Company?
We did some maintenance to the pickup. That was for some lug nuts and what is it?
Axle seal and because rear axle was leaking oil, and then it wrecked the brake shoe inside of there.
I just saw it shows it comes out of office expense. So.
Miscellaneous, yeah. And we did get, I put in for our the TAG program, and we did receive, we are allocated up to $5,000. They'll reimburse us for anything that we use for the weed, and we did get 4,000 and let me see that really quick.
No, just go right into the weed fund, right into the account.
Yes, that one right into the weed account. And so then, and that's from calendar year July to, or June, end of June to July. And so then this, I'll be able to submit this for funding as well. And then I think they're going to get new tires put on the pickup, and so then I'll be able to submit that for funding too.
Mm-hmm. You got anything else, Jim?
Any other questions on the bills?
I would accept the bills as presented, removing the $13,000 for the, what are we at here? Eastern Plains Human Services Zone, until we can revisit that next meeting.
Motion by John to pay the vouchers as presented with the exception of Eastern Plains Human Services Zone for $13,000. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Stephanie. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Dale votes aye. Motion carries. What do you got for us, Wayne?
I have not too much. I guess there's been some questioning over the years about the load limits being hauled into Sutton.
Yep.
There's requests to increase the amount during load limit season, just for those 3 miles from Highway 200 into Sutton. So I think it's up to you guys if you wish to keep it as 80,000. Then we would just put signs up when we get to Sutton, 6 tons per axle from there going south.
So I've had quite a few people contact me because of the anhydrous plant there.
Yeah.
And they're threatening to pull the anhydrous plant out of there if they can't haul bigger loads in.
Yeah.
Which would be a big disservice to that community out there.
Sure.
Because they're quite a bit. And I've researched a little bit, it is our right to keep the weight limits up, the same as on 200.
Yeah.
And we could just do it right to Sutton, or we could go farther south, but to Sutton would do it.
I know, like the elevator in Laverne, they get, Barnes County does that for them to come off State Highway 26 to come those 3 miles up to Laverne.
Yeah. So I think we should keep the limits right where they are on 200. And I think we should do the same thing for the short stretch going into Binford also, because Lennis can't get fuel in there.
No?
And so then they charge him more for fuel when they bring it in, 'cause they gotta bring higher loads, and he has to pass that on to the customer. The same thing will happen over in Sutton. If they keep the plant there, they're gonna have to pass the higher cost on to the customer, and that
Sure.
doesn't make any sense. So I think we should make the load limits for those 2 short stretches match the state load limits on the feeder roads into it. So number 1 and number 200 would be the 2 to look at.
Only thing I would caution would be this. Highway 200 is 105.5. 94 is 80,000. That's even not during the load limit season.
Mm-hmm.
Highway 200 is, you can haul up to 150,000.
Not with a correctly equipped truck, but
Right.
those trucks are only gonna be able to, they're only gonna be able to haul 80,000. They're triple axle, tankers, and that they'll be able to haul. And so I don't,
Mostly be as a seven axle truck,
right, yeah.
Unless somebody really gets a trailer.
Right, and the road is built to 105 specs. When we took the federal money, we had to build it to that. And if they can't haul it on interstate, they're not gonna get here anyway. It's coming from, so it's gonna self-regulate it
Well,
anyway.
they made new trails, or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
Where they can haul heavier loads
Yeah.
on, and Highway 200 is one of those.
Right, and I know speed limit doesn't mean much, but I think we should let them haul the loads that they can haul on from the feeder roads from 200 for number 1, but we should reduce the speed. It's only for 3 miles. I think we should make it 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
There may be signs up there already that says 35
Yeah.
for loaded trucks.
Yeah, it's because to not do that, it hurts everybody, because the products they're bringing in are gonna cost more if they can't haul as much, and those costs have to get passed on to the people buying them, which are Griggs County residents, and that doesn't make any sense.
So like the anhydrous, they can't get enough product in there to service everybody, otherwise why wouldn't they haul it in when it's froze? Grounds?
Well, because they don't have storage.
Yeah.
So they can get enough in there to service them if they can just keep bringing it in every
Yeah,
day.
keep bringing it in.
Yeah, but there's not, those tanks aren't for, they're just enough to get to buy for a day or two is all they're for. And that's why that's why it's very important to keep the road restrictions up, so they just keep bringing it in. Because of course, the trucker is not gonna wanna haul, during that time of the season, he can either haul and get paid for a full load or a partial load, and he's gonna wanna get paid for a full load, yeah.
Yep.
So do we need to have a resolution, or how do we, or just authorize you to
I think
change
you
it?
can just probably make a motion or whatever, so it's down.
I guess, entertain a motion to increase the load limits for the, whatever roads you decide.
So that's what's going into Sutton?
It's County Road 3,
Yeah, and into Bedford is County Road
8,
8.
and then there'll be Hannaford, but they can go, you know, the elevator uses that gravel road of the township around.
Yeah, and then, you know, I don't know if
We could get over to
we
the
should get the
further
permission from the city of Hannaford
I wouldn't
also.
wanna increase it through Hannaford.
No,
because it's-
I don't think the city would allow that either. So I would make a motion that we increase the load limitations on County Road 3 and County Road 8, 3 being going to Sutton, 8 into Binford, to correspond with the weight limitations on Highway number 1, which would be corresponding to Highway 8, and Highway 200, which would influence County Road 3, and post a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit as well. So are we gonna allow 105,000 then? I mean, that's what, when we
Yeah,
did the roads,
I
so
think seems to me we allowed that
yeah.
one year. I think we had signs up. I looked in the back, I couldn't find them, but
But that's what this motion will do. It
Yeah.
will allow whatever you can haul on 200 and
To-
Highway
to
1,
go
you
on
can haul
those.
on those short
whatever
stretches.
the legal
Yep,
road is there.
yep, yep, to the corresponding road.
And how long the stretches is County Road 3? It's a 3 mile.
To Sutton,
Yeah.
yeah, it's about three
3
miles.
miles.
And then Binford is just into the city of Binford,
Yeah.
where the tanks are. So there won't be any through traffic coming across there. This will just be for getting that product in.
Motion by John to increase the load limits on County Road 3 and County Road 8 from
I'll
the.
second. Oh, that was a long one, but I'll
Yeah.
second.
You got it. Thank you.
Okay. Motion to increase the load limits from Highway 200 on County Road 3 into Sutton, and on County Road 8 from Highway 1 to Binford,
Yeah.
to match
To match the load limit.
match legal load limits on said state highways.
Correct.
Seconded by Stephanie. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
same sign. Motion carries.
I received a new county federal aid program. It's cheat. It is what we have designated as chip seals countywide, it says. And they gave us a number now for those projects. And there should be a copy for the commissioners too, I think. Mine's just a copy of what's sent to the county commissioners.
I haven't got that one yet.
It just came by email,
Okay,
No, I haven't
So-
got it either.
so I'll watch for that one.
August 18th. So, and then we meet with the state DOT on October 4th at 1:15. That's our meeting for, if we have any changes or anything, or projects for the future.
October what? What's the date?
October 4th, during the conference. It's on Monday at 1:15. And state thinks there's gonna be more money available for bridges. I think I read that also. So, yeah, they updated the federal aid at, estimated cost is $843,300 for the chip seals, and the federal aid is $682,483. And the estimated total we have is $636,815 with the 2022 share. That's all I got.
All right, thanks, Wayne.
Thank you.
Game of chance permits for the Titan Elementary football.
I move we authorize the game of chance permits as presented.
Motion by John to approve the game of chance permits for Titan Elementary football. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Stephanie. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Old courthouse, new courthouse.
Nothing new from me.
Future business?
You guys will talk about that opioid litigation at the next meeting, and that's all I have.
Will there be samples?
I'll ask him.
Okay.
Can we throw on tax director next meeting also? So we can probably discuss that position.
Anybody got anything else for the good of the order?
I make a motion, we close the meeting.
Motion by John to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Stephanie. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion,
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 3:05 p.m. Next meeting is September 9th at 2:30 p.m. in this room.